So maybe you've heard. This little movie called Star Wars The Force Awakens came out yesterday. I mean, I don't know how you could possibly not hear about this movie. It's freaking everywhere, and it should be. I want Star Wars to be everywhere. It was awesome. But it was even in the Alvin and the Chipmunks commercial. The Alvin and the Chipmunks road trip commercial TV spot thing was Star Wars related. I mean, Star Wars is literally everywhere, which is awesome. I mean, Star Wars being everywhere is absolutely incredible. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and review Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, this is a non-spoiler review, so those of you who haven't seen the movie, you have nothing to worry about, because I'm not going to spoil anything in this movie. I'm just going to kind of briefly talk about things, and I'm going to tread very lightly when I get into some spoiler territory. I'm going to give you guys a little brief synopsis of what the movie's about. Basically, there's this rebranded empire called the First Order, and they are the dark side, and then you have the Resistance, which is led by Princess Leia. Actually, she's General Leia in this movie. I don't know why the name was changed, but whatever. But basically, it's the light versus the dark side, which is kind of the premise of all the movies, really. But really, it's this movie is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's great. If you've read any tweets or you've read any Facebook posts saying how perfect this movie is, I will say that there are perfect elements to this movie, and there are things that are just done perfectly that really they just did it flawlessly. There are certain things to this movie that are indeed perfect. However, it's not a perfect movie. There are things about it that I was like, okay, that's, they did an okay job with that, but it's by no means perfect. So, is Star Wars The Force Awakens good? Yeah, it's freaking awesome, dude. Some of the things that this movie does really well was the integration of the new cast of characters. The new cast of characters, I was really curious how they were going to fit into this already established universe, and the way that they integrated them into this universe was flawlessly done. I'm not going to spoil how they did it, but the way they did it, I'm just letting you know, it was really cool. Also, the movie does play a lot of tribute to the older Star Wars movies. There were certain elements to it where I was like, wow, this is just like in A New Hope, or this is just kind of like The Empire Strikes Back. Really cool stuff with that, just kind of playing tribute to the old movies without being tied down by them, because I think a lot of people were like, oh, this movie just isn't going to be as great as the original trilogy, and in my opinion, this movie is good in its own right, and it has its own things going for it, but they also play tribute without having that tribute kind of tie it down, if you know what I mean. Also, the action sequences and the special effects, awesome, fantastic. Probably the best out of all the Star Wars movies. Visually, this movie is so beautiful. At the end of the movie, at the climax of the movie, I was just looking at this, I was like, man, this movie is beautiful. Just, it was great. I was just watching everything that was happening on screen, I was like, man, this is just visually stunning, and it was great. However, there are some of the things that I guess you could say minor gripes that I have with the film, because while they do kind of hold the film back just a little bit, it's not, film breaking or anything like that. I think that the pacing could have been better. Okay, I wanted them to stick to certain moments, and I wanted them to really kind of linger there for just a little bit longer, but I feel like they had to overcompensate for how boring the prequels were. They're like, yeah, this movie is not going to be boring, we're going to have constant action, and this movie is just going to keep treading along, when in reality, they could have slowed down at certain parts, and they really could have lingered in there to kind of establish more emotions and things like that, so that was probably one of the only problems that I really had with the film. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie just as much as I did. This movie was fantastic. I really loved the old cast returning, just all the old cast members returning and them being as great as they were. And the original trilogy was awesome, and the new cast was great, specifically Finn and Rey. They were fantastic. Both of their performances were great, and I was just really stunned by both of their performances, because I haven't seen anything of them previously, so seeing them on screen now, I was like, wow, these are really great actors, and these are really interesting characters. So, hope you guys enjoyed the movie. Thanks for watching my review all the way through. Anyway, guys, have a good day. Peace.